The game has a legit uwu button, guys. Squidlit is a platformer not too dissimilar from the likes of Mario or Sonic, but instead of hopping on your enemies, you hit them with a jet of ink underneath you after hitting the jump button a second time. It's also a lot slower paced and easier than the aforementioned games. Even death has little meaning since you respawn at the beginning of the level anyways. Challenge thus must be enforced by the players with speedruns. The quickest time I've seen on speedrun.com was, I think, 6 minutes. The game's art style is reminiscent of old Game Boy games. The developer stuck to what I believe is a 4-shade palette that I could see some people hating, but it jostles that nostalgia button deep within my brain when I used to play Ants. You all know Ants, right? When you ask your mom if we could get Bug's Life at home, and this is the Bug's Life you have at home.
Call me crazy, but I have a thing about drinking from the anus of another creature, okay?
Suit yourself.
The little maggots called isopoles become the unsnail, which eventually cocoon into a larger sharker and eventually become a sharker fly, the first boss you face. Or maybe I added that context to the enemies, I'm not entirely sure. The designs look unique even though the developer was using a very limited color palette in the already limited pixel aesthetic. Most of the NPCs have silly, wacky things to say. This guy lives in a hole, this groovy bug invites us to jam, a man is sentenced to the dungeon for improperly addressing Squid Squat, God Emperor. A few conversations build up a bit of the background lore. This guy explains to us what garbage theory is, which posits that a civilization lives in an older civilization's remains, ruins, or garbage. Later, after the Grim War boss, we learn that elves existed in the past, along with the garbage theory being mentioned. Also, we have what seems to be a shooting star after the game's ending. The crystal ball here also points towards some sort of comet or meteor in the sky. With all these details, my understanding is some catastrophic event took place a century ago, destroying the potentially world-spanning civilization, maybe elves. Afterwards, cockroaches evolved sentience and settled themselves into the elves' ruins, with Squid Squat, God Emperor, running the whole show. Cephalopods also rapidly evolved sentience and moved onto land where we play as Blip, trying to stop the evil plan Squid Squat, God Emperor is trying to execute. My theory here is the protective bubble Squid Squat, God Emperor is trying to create with the potion from the Grimoire is supposed to protect them from this shooting star that I would presume is made from the crystal that rains down onto the planet and is used throughout the ruins of the old world. It's assumed the potion Squid Squat, God Emperor is brewing will be used to blot out the sun, but we are never told why the Squidlit believes this. Am I over here complicating what is most likely meant to be a simple story to go along with a cute little game? Absolutely. But I think it goes to show how much fun I had with the game if I'm sticking together my own narrative theory for a game with such a sparse story. My theory also gives me a good chuckle because if I'm right, the ending implies a meteor or comet comes by again to wipe out our civilization, all because you, Plip, thought you were saving the day when truly it was Squid Squat, God Emperor, who was saving the day. That's it for this week. Have a good day, ya fungoids.